Lorna coming to you from the library. Today I was thinking about outer space and the moon, and I thought I would share a book with you that has something to do with the moon. This book is called The Way Back Home by Oliver Jeffers. After we read this story, I'm going to share with you how to make moon pies. The Way Back Home by Oliver Jeffers. Once there was a boy. And one day, as he was putting his things back in the closet, he found an airplane. He didn't remember leaving it in there, but he thought he'd take it out for a go right away. The plane lifted off the ground and up into the sky, higher and higher and higher. Suddenly, the plane sputtered. It had run out of fuel. Now the boy was stuck on the moon. What was he to do? He was all alone and afraid, and soon his flashlight began to go out. Meanwhile, up in space, someone else was in trouble too. His engine had broken down. And steering the ship toward a flicker of light, he landed on the moon with a bump. The boy heard noises. The Martian heard noises. Both feared the worst. But as their eyes got used to the dark, both the boy and the Martian realized they'd met someone else in trouble. They weren't alone anymore. The boy showed the Martian his empty fuel tank, and the Martian showed the boy his broken engine. Together, they thought of ways to fix their machines and get them both back home. As the Earth was nearest, the boy went first. Down he jumped, right into the sea, and swam toward home. But by the time he got there, the boy was tired out. So he sat in his favorite chair just to catch his breath. His favorite program was just starting, and he settled down to watch. Suddenly, he remembered what he should be doing. He rushed off to the closet to get what he needed. Then he ran outside and shouted. But there was no reply. He couldn't be heard. The boy climbed to higher ground, called again, and waited. This time, a rope was lowered. The boy began to climb, and the Martian began to pull, and soon the boy was back on the moon. The boy fixed up the Martian's ship with a couple of rubber bands and a wrench, while the Martian filled the boy's fuel tank. They said goodbye and thanked each other for their help. They wondered if they'd ever meet again. After a long and tiring night, they were both finally off the moon. The boy went one way and the Martian went another, both on their way back home. Oh, look, a box arrives. And look what's in the box. And you can hear, hello? Hello? And that's the end. Here are the ingredients you'll need to make moon pies. You'll need 2 boxes of chocolate cake mix. You'll need eggs, and you'll need oil. For the frosting that goes into the filling in the middle, you'll need powdered sugar, a little bit of salt, a jar of marshmallow fluff, butter, and vanilla. Here are the tools you'll need to make moon pies. You'll need 2 bowls, 1 bowl for mixing the cookie dough and 1 bowl for mixing the filling. You'll need a measuring cup, a measuring teaspoon, and a mixer. You'll also need a scoop for scooping out the cookie dough. You'll need a cookie sheet and parchment paper to line it. You'll also need a spatula for scooping the frosting. You'll need a metal spoon, which you'll be dipping in hot water for scooping the marshmallow fluff out of the jar. And you'll also need a gallon-sized Ziploc bag and a scissors. You'll be using this to squeeze the filling onto the cookies so that it's easy and not so messy to put filling in the middle of the cookies. To make moon pies, you'll start by emptying 2 boxes of chocolate cake mix into a large mixing bowl. Next, you'll add 4 eggs. Finally, you'll add 1 cup of cooking oil. Mix all of these ingredients together with your electric mixer. Use a cookie scoop to put scoops of dough onto a parchment paper lined cookie sheet. You want your cookies to be uniform in size because these are sandwich cookies. You want the tops and bottoms to match. Place your cookies in the oven preheated to 350 degrees. To make the filling for the moon pies, put 1½ sticks of butter, that's 3/4 of a cup of butter, into a medium-sized mixing bowl. Add 2 cups of powdered sugar. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Add 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. That's just a little bit of salt in the bottom of the teaspoon. Combine those with your electric mixer. Next, add your marshmallow fluff. Run your spoon under hot water so that when you scoop it out of the jar, it doesn't stick as much. Use the mixer to combine. Use a gallon-sized Ziploc bag and scoop the filling into the gallon-sized Ziploc bag. It's really helpful if you have somebody to hold the bag open for you when you scoop in the filling. When the filling is in the bag, push out the extra air and zip the Ziploc closed. Squeeze the filling down toward one corner of the bag. And then you'll take a scissors and cut a little corner off of the end of the bag. The size of the corner will determine how much filling will come out at one time. Now we'll fold this bag together and we'll use this to add the filling to our cookies. When your cookies are thoroughly cooled and your filling is made, you're ready to put your moon pies together. Match the cookies up so that two cookies that are about the same size are next to one another. Leave one right side up and flip the second one over so that you'll have your cookies ready to have filling added and their caps will be ready to put on. Then you'll take your filling and you'll squeeze a blob of filling onto the cookies that have their bottom sides up. Now if you squeeze the filling onto all of the cookies before you start to put the caps on, then if you have extra filling, you can add some more to some of them before you put the caps on. Now we're ready to put on the lids. And here we have a moon pie cookie.
Oh, hello there. If you've ever read a book about the moon, like The Way Back Home by Oliver Jeffers, or Fly Guy Presents Space by Ted Arnold, The Moon Book by Gail Gibbons, or finally, if you had your birthday party on the moon by Joyce Lappin, you realize these books can take you to the moon and back. And I know that anytime I read a story about the moon, I sure would like myself a moon pie. And to go along with my moon pie, I sure would love myself a cup of hot coffee. Now, I can't wait to taste this moon pie. Delicious! Thanks, Miss Corner. You once again have amazed me with your amazing baking skills.